right, James. So my question to you is, what is the core of your business? Why you're able to become very successful at it?
Okay, well, well, first of all, I work with CEOs of startups and small SMBs, small to mid-sized businesses, to help them build and scale their sales and profitability. And there are a lot of coaches out there that just teach theory, but what really separates me and helps me to be successful is the experience I've had in corporate America and with startups of building sales teams and individuals. And when I started my sales consulting company, I really kept that in mind. And I've been brought into companies, that have been struggling because they're not hitting the numbers that are expected by the investors. And so what I do then is I work with the executives to do an assessment and then come up with an agreed upon, statement of work and business plan. And then I will roll that out hands-on, building, conducting the weekly meetings, helping out with the 2-year business plan, attending all the executive meetings for updates and so forth. And what that ultimately leads to is a solid foundation that gives them repeatable and predictable processes.
Okay. Now, James, your turn. Who do you want to ask a question?
I'll go with Josh. Josh, maybe just tell us more about specifically how you focus into your business, and like, are you fractional? You work with a lot of clients, and what's your kind of your king of hearts in terms of your ideal prospect?
Yeah, appreciate it. So I recently started this new business, a new experiment for myself. I have about 12 years experience in IT, working for a few different corporations. And one of the things that led me into this new venture is, I'm able to quickly organize and, assimilate information about a process, diagramming it and transforming it into, a more efficient, streamlined process. Done that with several teams in the past and felt I could do it for small businesses. So right now my target market, and I'm new to all of this, so, my elevator speech, all of that is rough, as you can tell. But my target market would be probably small businesses that 2 or 3 years that have a great idea, a great service, but maybe have a lot of overhead. They may have gone for these gimmicky websites like HubSpot or Zapier or any of these CRM type websites, but they don't know how it all communicates together, how to get data from one end to another. And so I can help consult them in technologies they could use in ways to solve their problems, or my business upsolve their problems. And along the way, have opportunities for app development or things like that. I have some developers behind me that I contract with to deliver. So that's kind of what I'm exploring right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now, you have 2 people that you can ask. You have to select one, Ryan or Jessica.
Okay, and similar type questions.
And whatever question you want, it's up to you.
All right, Ryan, what is your business? How long have you been in that space, and what's your experience there?
So experience is down to a minimum. I've only launched probably a month ago. So my business is it's Zenin, right? The main goal for it is to get private chefs for hire. So think of like Uber, how you can hire people off the street to, instead of paying a taxi, just more centralized. So instead of using like these fast food deliveries, you can actually hire a chef to come to your house or your apartment, place of residence, and they can cook a meal that you had ordered online with them. They would make it directly in your kitchen, prep the meal in front of you. Maybe you have a party hosting, maybe it's just you and a spouse or a significant other, and they would clean up and be on their way after that. That way, it's kind of a new twist instead of the old cold fast food that a lot of people tend to gravitate to.
Yeah, okay. Very interesting.
All right, Ryan, and you have Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. So what was your biggest hurdle starting your business? How did you accumulate more customers, and what has been, I guess, the easiest part? of your business, and then the hardest part, of course?
Great question. Hi, everybody. And I love what you do, so I have more questions for you offline. The easiest part about starting my business is naturally being service oriented and wanting to help people. So I picked a service-based, I started out being a VA, but then the challenge in that was that I'm not a VA. I'm not just a VA. I have other skill sets and stuff, and I was way too broad. I didn't dial down my target market nearly enough. So the challenge with that was that I did get compared to a lot of other service-based industries doing the same thing. So now that I rebranded, took some certifications, got some credibility in there, it made it a lot easier to just stay in my lane. And then just what I naturally bring to the service that I offer is the follow-up, super strong follow-up and all that stuff. So that makes it easier when you have a system and know what you're looking for in the first place. So hopefully that answered your question. Did everybody go?
Yes, so I'm the last one.
Aha, okay. Marie, if you can't tell, Marie and I are friends. So, okay, Marie, my question for you would be, what is a goal that you accomplish with a crazy, let's put a number on it. What's a financial goal that you reached in a really short amount of time that you were surprised you pulled it off? Or have you ever had an experience like that?
Well, it's based on each project, because I have several projects. And so for you, this is the first time meeting me. I'm actually the founder and CEO of Finest Women in Real Estate. And it is a marketing company for promoting women in real estate. So I do TV talk shows, magazine publication. I have a radio show, and I have, of course, the Fire Up Connect. I work with a lot of real estate development projects, which, it could range from, $25,000 to $100 million projects. So one of the goals that I was able to accomplish was to connect an investor that can work with this other company that can work on any type of project. So I was able to successfully connect them, and they're now working on $100 million project, which I would get a lot of money from that. Just so that alone is actually incredible. We closed one deal in November, and that's going to give me right away in one project. And they're looking at several projects. In one project, I make 5 figures on that, and I'm not going to be so, open to that. Anyway, my goal for Fire Up Connect is to have really qualified people that are open to collaborating. I don't really want to spend my time when we're not getting any kind of result out of it. So this meeting that we're doing right now is that the reason why we have very specific goals is because we want to establish relationship. And mentioning James is actually a new member of Fire Up Connect, and James, maybe you can give some testimonial of the short period of time that you have been a member, and maybe they can get a good understanding of that. So I'll let you speak, James.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that I got connected with Marie. I actually reached out to her, not totally cold, because I have a background in commercial real estate and real estate. And so we had a ton of common connections, but I just came across her as like a suggested person to connect with on LinkedIn. And then, she took the meeting. I was curious enough to do that. And then I got to know about her and, the, different organizations that she's running, and, seemed really dynamic. And so I attended one of these meetings like two weeks ago. I think this is the third
Yes.
one I've been to. But Marie has already connected me with several individuals that I'm, actively working with to potentially bring them on, for a consulting gig. A couple of them are really early stage, like brand new, and that's a little tougher to put that together, financially. But then another one, just got, funding in a contest they won, and so they're going to be in a little better position to work with me. But it's been great. There's I've joined quite a few networking groups since I started my company, and I'm finding pretty quickly that how these meetings are run and the format really determines kind of the caliber of the people that end up staying there and working together and really helping each other out.
Okay, and so part of my, I know it's a long answer, Jessica, but you know what I do. But part of what I am trying to do with Fire Connect is to have a lot of marketing programs attached to it. So if you are an official member, we will be bringing you to the radio shows, and we will be working on the magazine publications that we have. And so that's part of my goal for Fire Connect. I hope I answer your question, Jessica. Is that good?
Yeah, it was great. And you got a testimonial in there at the same time.
Yes, of course. That's what you call strategy, right? Thank
Only
you, James,
Marie,
by the
only
way.
Marie.
All right, so next part of our meeting is we normally would either have a speaker or open a topic. And so this time I'm gonna open a topic, which is, it's going to give us an idea of where we're at with our level of expertise. So what I would like to ask everyone a question is, what is your criteria for connecting with someone and bringing them into your circle of connections? I'm going to start with Ryan. Ryan, what is your thoughts about that question?
That's an excellent question. Believe it or not, I don't even have a response to that. I'm starting new and fresh. The circle that I come from, I don't have that many connections and networking. So everything from a few months back till now, it's fresh. I mean, I don't have much of anything. I'm just building as I go.
Okay, well, that's good because you're now in Fire Up Connect.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll move on to Josh. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Josh, you have to unmute.
Sorry.
Forgot about that. All right. Yeah, I have a few people from previous employers that I've been able to connect with and, talk through some business ideas. Beyond that, I'm actually pretty much open, right? If anyone reaches out, great, I'll talk, find out what they do, find out what I do, and, share with them some of my vision and goals. Yeah, so I haven't really, made any boundaries for myself right now.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good. It will be good to know because if you ended up joining Fire Connect, you're going to have an extended network right away. Okay. We're going to move on to Jessica.
Hey, all right. So criteria. My first criteria, I think your question pertains to my network, not just potential clients, but it could be both.
It could be both. Yes.
It could be both. So I look at synergy, which sounds really obvious, but sometimes we don't do as much due diligence as we should with like just personality stuff. And do we even like the person to want to include them in our circles of influence? So I really take my time to get to know people. And my other criteria is, are they in my target market? So if they're in any of those spheres where it makes sense to like kind of do that, then I step forward with that. And then client wise, I want to make sure that they're also like in a place and have been in business for a certain amount of time so that we can actually work together. Because otherwise it's kind of like, oh, I like you, but I'll see you in 5 years. Like, so I'm really, I actually curate my network because I am a connector. I intentionally I actually have to like delete people from my network because it's that curated. So a tip with it would be to, once you know what your target markets are, it's a lot easier to build from there. And I might be able to offer some help offline if anyone needs it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. James. Oh, you have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot I had that. I was
I
going to say
said
that.
it, but I was on mute. I was like, you're muted. I'm like, but I'm muted. saying it.
I forgot. No, I was going to say, like to Jessica's point, I guess she swipes right and swipes left, like one would on a dating app. But I think that becomes necessary after a while.
Hey.
I'm just teasing. And so I think one of the things that I really learned in going over to starting this company, I partnered and did a licensing agreement with this big back-end company that supports outsourced VPs of sales. And first thing they did when we went through our training with our group was forget about all your sales stuff and don't necessarily focus on your network per se, your own connections. You'll be doing that later and then kind of sprinkling that in, but rather focus on people that have, like Jessica was saying, you know, that you believe have the same, are in the same space, kind of playing the same space and are going after the same type of business, and that you have common connections with, like on LinkedIn. Because if you have first and second level connections, you've got a reason to intro. That's which is exactly what I did with Marie. And then my whole goal for the first few months, and I'm just starting to switch over to getting, you know, client facing and contracts. I tried to stay disciplined about just building up my ecosystem of like, you know, 12 or 15 really good people that I can work actively with. And then I'm starting to realize, you know, kind of like ones that I thought might have been good, that then I meet really good ones, you know, then, you know, you focus more on those. And then I think the key is to be giving with them and, you know, not just looking for business, but then having a systematic follow-up process, whether it's a newsletter, reaching out to them, having periodic meetings, so that you're constantly staying in contact and thinking about one another.
That is awesome. Thank you, James. So the reason why I asked that question is I do a lot of networkings and I do have massive connections. My connection comes from, you know, a lot of the potential clients and also just business connections also because of the marketing part of it. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that if you define your target market very well, then it will really help you with working with other people because you can tell them exactly what you're looking for and they can keep that in mind and then they can easily connect you to those to your right clients. So in my case, I've had a real estate, I had 15 years in the healthcare industry. And because of that 15 years, I'm also can work with companies that they're targeting healthcare institution. Okay, and then I also have, I had my own real estate brokerage where I recruited 50 agents myself. And so I'm very hands-on when it comes to real estate, in running a real estate, so I can promote them. So that's why I have a TV show for finest women in real estate, enrollment of real estate. That's why I do a lot of real estate land projects. Because of my branding, I did a lot of community events. And this is something that you need to think about in your business. Ryan, I think for you, because you are, thinking of, almost like an Uber, you have to be connected to a lot of community events. And that's how I branded myself. The community events is amazing because I connected to a lot of the city officials. They gave me a lot of connections just because of, doing community events. I became famous in the fashion industry, and I'm not even a fashion designer, and I don't even know how to make a dress. But because of what I have done, I connected to a lot of fashion designers and photographers, and the audience in the fashion industry is actually a lot of my clientele for the real estate. That's how you can be very creative in terms of where you get involved. Fire Up Connect actually creates projects. So right now we are promoting Halloween for Heroes, which is an event every year, and we give free pumpkin to active military families. And because of that, we put out a lot of information on social media content, and my name and everybody's name are being promoted because of this event. And we attract big companies. Like I have this big name sponsor who's sponsoring the event and giving us 100 pumpkins to donate to the families. So those are the things that with your connection to the big corporate, for the big corporation, because of your community events, that's how you can get your business connected to those companies, aside from your own clientele. You hear me? Do you understand, Ryan, what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so So what I'm saying is if you do the community events and participate in all of those kind of events, you will connect to your target market. At the same time, you're going to get connection to the big corporation that could really make a difference in your business. Because you know you're tapping into different levels of market when you're dealing with community events.
Right. So you're pretty much starting micro and ending up on a macro level.
Yes, that's how I got involved with the city officials, and the city officials now are, actually promoting me. They partner with me on all my events. They were paying for my events because of what I did on the community level. So that is being very strategic. So that's part of what you can do with your business. So anyway, that's just, one tip that I wanted to share with you, and we can move on to the next step of our meeting, which is what we call business share time. And you have 1 minute to share one of the three things, okay? And I'm gonna just show this to you. One is a success story, or a challenge that you're dealing with, or one specific goal that you want people to know so they can help you and support you. If you're sharing your challenge, make sure that it's one specific challenge so people can give you recommendations. They're gonna give you some chat information or connect with you one-on-one so they can provide you some recommendation. So I'll go ahead and start with this time with Josh. Josh, what would you like to share?
Yeah, so I've never done this before, and I think that's my biggest challenge. I'm doing a lot of Google searching and make sure I'm not on mute. Yeah, and understanding, how to form LLC, getting a CPA, things like that. Today I just finished my contracts that I'll start using. So I think that's my biggest challenge is I think I spent a couple months forming the foundation of the company, putting together a website with some content. And now I'm at the stage where I'm ready to bring on clients and not quite sure exactly how to connect. I know I have something of value, but I'm not a great salesperson at all. So, connecting what I offer and making it realistic for them where they, letting them know they need it, even if they don't recognize that it's needed, that type of thing.
Awesome. Okay, I can see a lot of potential there. Ryan, how about you? Next.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of what Josh said. I'm not much of a sales guy. Like I know what I want to say, but I always get that the word jumbling when I try to speak. So the challenges and goals would probably piggyback off each other, right? So getting a consumer base to join the network, and then essentially that same thing, challenging goals, right? So the biggest challenge is trying to get a consumer base to join, and then the goal would be ultimately getting a consumer base to join.
If you have a goal, how many people do you need to be in your network on a specific time frame?
Oh goodness. Just to start the network circle, I'd say at least 50 people in a network within the next 6 months. A good solid 50 individuals who are well versed and enough information that we can utilize each other to both streamline their process and business, and as mine as well.
Okay, all right, good. That's good to know. Okay, well, thank you, Ryan. Let's move on to Jessica.
I'm excited about your goal. It's so doable. You got this. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. So let's see. Well, tomorrow, I'm hoping I have a huge celebration with a project I've been nurturing for it's a commercial building that I'm hoping everything has lined up to this. Not just hoping, I'm like pretty sure it's all going to be lining up for my buyer to be the person that gets it and not the other offers on the table. So all my energy has been going to like making sure everything goes good for that, because that will open up a whole other exciting thing for me here. So that's my celebration. And then A goal I'm working on is, I realize I don't really have a lot of testimonials. Although I've worked with people, I haven't actually like had that proof completely spelled out. So I worked on getting my offers, kind of like an intro offer to do for that purpose of just starting somewhere to get that on my social media. And my goal is to finish like the graphics and stuff for that. And then I can start taking on little beta buddies for beta
Awesome.
business buddies.
All right, sounds good, Jessica. All right, James, you're last.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's got different disciplines here, but I think there's, common ground in terms of the challenges that anyone faces was starting their own company. And I've worked as a 1099 before, but never fully started my own company. And like Josh was saying, just getting your LLC set up, getting your documents, all that. And I've got a company that I'm licensed with that helps out with that. But I think that has been the biggest challenge, is getting everything set up and then disciplining myself not to just try to, target potential clients right away and to be patient. But that's a frustrating part, and now it's starting to come around, but just to be disciplined, to really build up the network and be part of groups like this. I have the same challenges that you guys, that Ryan and Josh was saying they have, not having been in sales. And I've been a sales leader and a VP of sales, and come in and run startups, from a sales perspective, and that doesn't change the challenge. I know what to do once I get in the door, but that doesn't change the challenge of building your business and then marketing yourself, having the right messaging. And I think, Marie, one of the things that it sounds like you do, I haven't learned all about it yet, but I worked with someone to, even for these different types of meetings, like you give a minute. There's other meetings when you're going to have 30 seconds. There's other meetings when you're going to have 10 seconds to introduce yourself, depending, like Provisor, some of them, they'll give you 10 seconds. And so having like a 10-second, 30-second, and 60-second elevator pitch, and then coming up with a why story of why did you do what you do, tying back kind of to some challenge you went through, and then, being a good storyteller about that and incorporating that when the time is right.
Awesome. All right. So that is almost like a success story for you, right?
Yeah, it'll be more of a success story once I have a few new gigs, but,
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. So, if you guys wanted to put your information on chat so everybody can contact each other, go ahead. This is the time. And if you wanted to just quickly give your comments about the topic that we just covered, and then I'm going to move on to the next part of our meeting. So I'll give you 30 seconds to type whatever you want in regards to what I just said. Okay. All right. All right. So this is the part where we wanted to make sure that we're making this meeting worthwhile your time, because it's all about trying to make sure that we get the best of our time. So I heard Ryan talk about, a company where you can provide private chefs, right? Now, this is a software that you're building. Am I right?
I didn't quite have the funding to go build the software, so I actually hired an application design team that piggybacks off of apps that are already out in the market. So for the startup, once it, the goal is to, once it gets mainstream, I'll kind of rebrand it and get it to my own software structure of how I truly envision it.
So you're
Right now,
looking for investors. Is that what you're doing? You're looking for funding?
well, if I could do it on my own, that's always, the main goal, but secondary, if it falls short, of course, investors are always the way to go if you can't pull it on your own.
Okay. All right. And then, so one thing I can say, Ryan, is you're going to need you're going to have at least investors package in order to get some, if you want to work on that, I think that would be perfect. And again, it's a matter of really understanding who the right people to work with in making those things happen. In
Sure.
regards to your marketing, I mean, there's a lot of ways to do that. It's just a matter of how you can get access to those things and, you know, at the reasonable price, because everything is so expensive right now. And if you can strategize the way to promote your business, that would be perfect. Now, Josh, you're pretty new and you said that you need some help on, you know, sales, because you're not a salesperson, but you have a lot to offer to people. So, you know, strategically, you had to partner with people like, you know, other businesses in different categories. And, you know, James is actually, you know, you can tell that he is a guy that you wanted to be connected to when it comes to sales, because he has a program that is in place that you can actually work with. And I believe that James offers a program that is actually incredibly good for small business owners. And I'm really excited to hear more about that. Jessica is a connector. So if you really wanted to connect to the right target market, if you know exactly who your target market is, she can connect you, because she connected me to some high profile CEO of a large real estate corporation. And for some reason, she's able to get it, and she has a way to do that. So make sure that you connect and explain exactly who your target market is. And I really recommend that you join Fire Up Connect, because if you do, I will be one of your cheerleaders and one of your connectors that would really put you out there. I have done marketing for many, many years now. And to have a radio show, get you on a radio show, and for 83,000 listeners with 1.2 million hits on their affiliations, because they are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports, that's an incredible value for being a member of Fire Up Connect. And membership is one time $250, and you choose one of the three levels of membership: bronze, silver, and gold. And they start from $12 a month to $30 a month. And it's almost nothing, because each meeting, if you're not a member, you have to pay $10 to come in, and we have 8 meetings a month. So if you pay $12 a month, you've already saved $70. And if you wanted to be a gold member, you will get a lot more exposure for being a gold member. So I would recommend that. I am like your best Fire Up Connect business networking group that you can find out there. There are a lot of networking groups there that are large group, but you know, I have been in all of those meetings, and I know how they operate. The problem with some of those is they would give you referrals, but it's a one-time referral. We don't want one time. We want lifetime referrals. And if you're going to get testimonials, you want organic testimonials where they're going to keep bragging about you, where you don't even have to ask them. And then they keep giving you business and referrals. Up to now, I'm still getting referrals for the real estate residentials. And I'm not doing any more residentials, but I still keep getting that because of what I have done in building my branding. And part of the purpose of being Fire Up Connect member is to build your personal brand and your business branding. That's what I specialize. And my time for working with someone is I charge people an hour just to talk to me for an hour. But if you're a member of Fire Up Connect, you're getting me for a deal. And so that's another thing you will get. And I promote people. I connect you to the right people. And that is what I can do for you. And if you have any questions on how this works, just let me know. But here's my question to you. Just for the four of you, what opportunity did you see and that it will help your business? I'm going to start with Josh.
Do you mind repeating the question? What opportunity did I see
in this
meeting?
Yes, and that will help your business.
Yeah, I think being connected to, I know what my target market is, and being able to be connected to them, for them to know I exist, and that I could help them solve a problem that that stunts their growth, right? If they're not using the right technology or the right process, their growth can be limited. They won't reach their potential. And so I need to translate that into a message, connect with them. That's where I see potential.
Yes. All right. And someone that is a talkative like me, or John or Jessica, who can keep talking about you. All right, Ryan.
I'm
Just
sorry,
wait.
it cut out halfway. What's the question again? I'm sorry.
What opportunities did you find in this meeting and that will help your business?
Oh, sure. So instantly you can tell that everybody brings something special to the table, which kind of all of us, I'm sure, are yearning for, right? A new, I guess, perspective and a new experience that maybe one of us haven't yet experienced. So that it's good to see, as long as we can keep in touch and maybe join Fire Up Connect. I mean, this would be a wonderful networking platform just to get to know everyone and help each other down the road. This is great.
Okay, great. And Jessica?
I was like, you're right, I could have, well, so I just put in the chat real quick, like what she's asking, because part of what's so intentional about Fire Up Connect and these meetings is not to feel like another networking group where it's like, there's no accountability around the referral process or even just the help. Like sometimes it's not even, people kind of go to get most of the time, but not to give, not to actually be intentional about it. So we keep this super short, we keep it an hour on purpose so that it's worth all of our time. And strategically, what she does is, and I'm a member of Fire Connect as well. So the purpose of the meeting is that right from the get-go, even from your first experience being on the call with us, you have opportunities to create connections real time together with just who's in the room. It's kind of like setting up the players, not like a game exactly, but kind of where the questions all lead you to this part of the meeting where it's like, oh, actually, you'd be good. There's natural synergy already. Let's see what we can create from here and mean it and be intentional about it. So that's what this section is for. And I mean, from where I'm sitting, I see synergy all around because my perspective when it comes to business development, I've been trained to look at the different aspects of a client journey and then create partnerships and or client opportunities around all those pieces. So I look at the table, although I don't know what Josh does. I look at the screen and I'm like, oh, well, likely there's somewhere on that wheel, we all would benefit from each other for a good win-win situation. And being that there's a lot of several are in startup phase, it's just good to be in a community where there's no judgment and we all have started somewhere. So there's a lot of resources in Fire Up Connect of other business professionals offering the services you might need to grow. And then eight opportunities to get to network like this with other intentional minded professionals is great. So not to sound like a sound like a sales professional, but it becomes easy. I think the opportunity you got here today is it's a safe place to just be yourself and talk about what you're doing, and then it becomes easy to want to really just partner up with people. So I guess what I would say also is, besides the opportunity to join, to see you on Friday with me on Friday, is to not be afraid to start from just like a relationship standpoint and what you have in common with people, because you never know, especially like someone like me being a connector, you never know who's like 1 degree away from your first client or whatever. So I would say also save the chat. Make a habit of saving the chat. And
I just saved it. I just saw that feature because I've been so mad when I haven't done that. And you know,
perfect,
out on.
perfect. Because the real opportunity also, like if it's not always obvious on the call, it's the calls we set up after. So hopefully that was a good input for everybody.
Yes, thank you, Jessica. That was amazing. All right, James, your turn.
Yeah, well, I agree. What she said, Plus, I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was the first time, Marie, you and I had our meeting. Marie did something that was pretty cool, and she's definitely not shy, and she's a connector, because she called up Eddie, who's one of the members of Fire Up Connect, and this was before I even attended a meeting. And she was, by the time we got 3/4 of the way through, she said, you have to talk to this guy. She patched him in right away on Zoom. And now he and I, have developed a relationship and possibly will work together. And then I attended, I guess at one of the meetings the next day, and then 2 more connections from Marie there. And then I joined, I said that night, I'm in a lot of networking groups and a lot of really expensive. And there's sometimes 35, 40 people, and you kind of get lost in the shuffle, and it's really tough. You got to do these, sidebar meetings later on, and that's a little tougher sometimes to be able to get people. And so I think having a small group with, the culture that is created here, and the way you run the meetings to make it really interactive and meaningful. I think that if people keep attending these, they're, like Jessica said, you're always, 1 degree away or whatever, a step away from, a client, and you may not even know it.
Yeah. Well, I'm connected to a lot of organizations that's outside the Fire Up Connect meetings. And when I see potential, I always look for talents, and I always look for, collaboration and partnership. So you guys, once you become part of Fire Up Connect, you will definitely see a lot of new connections and a lot of developments for your business, because there's a lot of ideas that we bring in to the meetings. I'm very creative in so many ways. I sometimes they probably think, and people think that I'm crazy a little bit, but I am good in creating ideas. So that's something that you'll experience with us here. I'm looking forward to building a relationship, because if you're part of it, I will get to know you more. I'll learn more how you operate and the way you communicate. And that's part of how I promote people. And that's how I can get people excited in meeting you, because if I know more about you, I can really talk about you. It's just the way I am. I am good in what I do. That's just, that this is my skill and this is my talent. And if you guys come on board, you will benefit from me also. Okay. All right. I think we are on, we have 12 minutes. I'm going to spend this time into where you just give your full feedback of your experience today, and what you think about it, if you want to share that with us. So I'm going to go start with Ryan this time.
So all positive feedback. First time experiencing something like this, right? This round table of an event. I'm actually at a loss for words, because this is kind of like a first time thing for me just overall. And it's good to hear things, right? It's good to know that there's actually people, I guess, in other networks that are willing to share like the same experiences and kind of downfalls and triumphs that maybe you're going through, and just reaching out for perspective, because anybody gets stuck, somewhere in life, even if it's not business, if it's a life situation. But it's always great to have like-minded individuals to kind of share that journey with, because you won't be able to succeed on your own. I mean, it's a given fact, But other than that, I'm just excited. It's really good. I like it a lot. Thank you.
All right. Glad to hear that, Ryan. I tell you, my first successful event was because I worked with 10 people, and it became so big that we ended up raising money for other companies, or for other schools, I mean. All right, Josh, you're next.
Yeah, this all new to me. So yeah, I appreciate you reaching out. I've never been to one of these before. All first for me. So it's positive energy, positive, collaboration. I can, it's almost like a community, of people, doing things they haven't done before, and then supporting other people and doing similar things. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm very excited.
All right.
Have a
Well,
small network right now.
Okay, well, looking forward to learning more about you, but this time we do have a small group, but we normally have different people coming in and out. So it's just, the timing, and, we are networking that we don't force people to attend, only if it works out for them. Because whoever is in, I'm actually, they benefit from us. So whoever is in, they get the blessings. That's all I can say. All right, Jessica, your turn.
So I always appreciate that it is so intentional where you don't get lost in the shuffle. Everyone has enough time to be present, enough speaking time, and that feels, I feel like you can be even more efficient when it's not like 50 people, because it doesn't feel good to feel lost in the shuffle. And then the way we get to structure the questions and learn about each other and ask different questions, it just kind of seals the deal with the rapport, and it actually is a community. So it's not just the networking, but it's not just like the Tuesday, Friday calls, but it actually is a community where there's a whole database of resources and things. So whatever stage of business you're in, you are supported. And if it's not included or not there, Marie would be on it for whatever you might need. And she really is go get, and that's why she created this to be a hub to basically, I mean, if you're going to get on the call, you might as well bring people with you and literally work on deals real time with them, right? So I'm really, it was nice to see new faces for me, and that you just took a stand for yourself. You invested in yourself to be here, and we're just really glad that you had a good experience.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, James.
Yeah, so again,
You can't say what I said.
Is that?
What's that?
You can't say what Jessica said.
No, I'm not going to say that again. I try to be unique. But I again do like the smaller format, and even if there were like 10 people here, that's still manageable, and you can get around into it. And then I know, like in some of the bigger groups I'm in, they got to break it out into little groups of 3 or 4, but then you've got limited time. You're kind of speed dating, and you're putting it, and then maybe you connect later on. Whereas here you get kind of a more of a direct connection. And I have also the benefit of, like in my training class, all the people that are hired at the same time I was, there are like 18 of us, and we meet once a week. And these are people that mostly have 20 to 30 years plus in corporate America, like successful people. And everyone, you realize, is kind of in the same boat and facing the same challenges, and frustrated about it. And sometimes you feel like you're about to jump off a cliff because things are moving too slowly. So one of the people kind of jokingly referred to it as, this is also like a therapy session, because you have these common plights, and you realize that everyone's in the same boat, and and that it's just important to have a process and a plan, and then also to get outside help in your areas where you're not as strong, or where you should get it. I think that's one of the main things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so far for me, I actually like what I heard from both Ryan, Josh, and I know Jessica very well, and James I'm getting to know him too. But so far, I really like the impression I got from you, and that's something that you actually need to know when you're meeting with people, is to get their feedback. The reason why is you could be talking about your business and everything, and then all of a sudden they actually have not understood your message. So it's always good to get feedback, because you know how the interpersonal communication is what you give is not sometimes what they receive. So when you speak here, if let's say you're a member and you have to do a 7-minute presentation, right after that, the people will actually give you their feedback, and you will know if you were effective or not. And so part of what you do here in Fire Connect is to practice your 1-minute answers You have to be quick when somebody asks you a question. What is the best way to answer that 1 minute? Okay, so that's part of practicing as part of Fire Connect member. And then second is your presentation. You will only have 7 minutes to show what you have. And there's going to be 3 minutes Q&A. So people will ask you questions, and you need to be good at that too, because when you are out in a large group, you got to have your information, perfect. So this is actually a good training for you also to learn all of that. And plus, you're going to get connected to so many people. This video right now is recorded, and we have a lot of members, and I actually shoot this video to a lot of people that I think it will be connected to you. So that's how I do it. So I am very strategic. If you guys wanted to be a part of it, let me know. And again, I thank you for being here. I'm very impressed with your communication today, and that's a good one already for me. So make sure that you can call me. You have my email address or my phone number, 951-378-5316. You can call me, you can text me, and you can email me at marie@finestwomeninrealestate.com. Okay. And that's it. Well, anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your time, and connect with me. And if you want to check another meeting, we have every Friday at 11 a.m. Sounds good?
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
care.
Thank you all.
Nice
Appreciate
to
it.
meet you, everyone.
Chat.
Nice to meet
Save
you.
your chat and connect, okay? Follow up right away. Follow up is the key. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a good night.
All
You
right.
too.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.